afterward to the specs. All right. In warehouse, we have data that you used to have in Galileo. Right? There is a difference between inventory management and warehouse management, right? So now most of the actions that come to the warehouse are triggered from inventory, right? The warehouse people need to issue out or to items into a warehouse, right? The transaction will be always initiated in inventory. Okay. That's what we have seen. We had a session also this morning. Most of the questions from the mission come in this part because people to do all the transactions in Galileo, right? So they are scared that now the transactions have to come from a different person. So remember, we are talking about roles and different transactions in Umoja. So the same person can have a role in inventory management to perform, for example, good receipt, and then they can also have the role in warehouse to actually do the put away transaction in Umoja. All right. Some of you just joined, so welcome everybody. I'm gonna mute because otherwise it's gonna be. Please mute your microphones. Okay. Let me see if I can unmute you. All right, participants. Okay. Could you please mute yourselves? Okay. Do you screen by the way? Barbara, can you confirm you see my screen?
Yes, see your screen.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Please remember to mute your microphone, otherwise we will hear a lot of noise. So we're talking about inventory and warehouse management, right? And remember these parts, right? These concepts. In warehouse, structural elements we have. We have the warehouse, these types, storage sections, and storage bins. I can hear still a lot of noise. Right. So remember to mute your microphone. Let me see if I mute it for you. Sorry, I'm trying to mute the one that is okay. All right. See if I can unmute also the other people. All right. So please remember to mute your microphone. Okay, I found it. So thank you. So I'm sorry for for all the noise. All right. So let's go back to the structural elements. Right. We have warehouse, the storage type, identifies the different buildings into the warehouse, the section, the rack area, the pallet area, the container, and then the last structural element in the warehouse is the storage bin. That is the only structural element that can be directly managed by the missions. So remember that the mission level, you can create new warehouse or new storage types. You can create storage bins. Right? Need to create a new storage type in a warehouse. It's through the master data request. All right. Structure that find in Umoja once you are performing any warehouse transaction. Right? So, refresh the concept. How does it work? Work management in cooperation with inventory management. So, as we were saying, all the warehouse management actions are initiated from inventory. So, the inventory is going to be the place where we'll do the receipt, right? And good receipt is automatically a transfer requirement, right, in the warehouse. So transfer requirement is automatically created in the system where the receipt is performed, right? And is going to be the document that will be used in the system to create the put away, right? So in the transfer requirement, the your user will get the transfer order to indicate where they to be located in the warehouse. The warehouse user will physically do the movement, right, and confirm that the put away was complete, right? Very similarly, for when we have to pick from the warehouse and issue them to a section or staff member, right? So again, process is initiated in the inventory management module with the run and the goods issue, and once the goods issue is posted, transfer requirement in the warehouse, right? And with this requirement, warehouse senior user can do the same, can create transfer order, right? And the warehouse user will afterwards pick this physically from the bin and confirm that the action was done. So kind of overview. We are going to distribute this presentation afterwards because you kind of summary. For example, this is a summary. Also, you can find here the roles and tips that you use for the put away process, meaning received, how and which roles are doing a transaction in Umoja to complete the put away process. So set. After receipt in inventory management, there'll be a transfer requirement automatically created in the system, right? And it's the responsibility of the warehouse senior, right, to check requirements, meaning the items that are at the door of the warehouse and needs to be placed in the warehouse, right? They can run this. Normally those T codes starting with X are reports, so there are several reports. In this case, one is to empty storage bins, right? And the responsibility of the warehouse senior user is to create the transfer orders, right? To indicate, in this case, we are performing a play. So the warehouse senior user with this transfer order will indicate the items that were have been placed in the warehouse. So this part orange is the responsibility of the warehouse senior user. That is one of the roles in the warehouse management module in Umoja. And the other role is the warehouse user. So the user phone things from the warehouse senior user that can transfer order. They will look for the orders created by the other role, right? These transfer orders are kind of pending work that the warehouse user to actually do the physical movement. So they look for open transfer orders. These transfer orders are printed using LT1 T code, right? They will be moving the door of the warehouse to the connected bin. After the physical movement is done, will confirm that they will confirm the transfer order to reflect in the system the physical movement. Okay, so this slide you have an overview of the steps, the roles, and the T codes. All right, that's for the wave process. Before we continue, is there any comment? Any you can raise any comment through the chat, or you can just one by one your microphone and just comment about the put-away process. Is there a question on this? Alex can unmute himself and says that at least is that you can listen to me. All right, good. Maybe it's too basic for you, but we just want to refresh some of these concepts. So this is the put-away process. Let's jump into the picking. Right, picking. There is nothing new here. So what's involved are the same, warehouse user and warehouse user, with the same process. We have the transfer requirement. With the warehouse user, we have to create transfer order, and then the warehouse user will look for transfer orders. The movement, they will have to confirm that the physical movement was done. So the system works in a very similar way, both for the put away and for the picking. Later we will go into the system, right? And we will see how all this process looks into the system, right? So I had a question in the chat about the roles, right? Because there's confusion in the missions. The question is, can a person have both the inventory, right, and the warehouse user roles? Yes. You have the role in inventory and the role in the warehouse, meaning you can form the goods in the inventory side, and after the goods issue is performed, there will be an automatic transfer requirement, and you can continue in the warehouse. Right. Important thing for you is to keep in mind that in the warehouse you cannot import or bring things into your warehouse if the inventory actions were not done. Right? It's not received in the inventory, or if there is no goods issue in the inventory, the warehouse senior user will not be able to perform the put away or the picking, because warehouse user needs the first requirement. So and picking actions are always a follow-on document of a goods received in the inventory and a goods issue in the inventory. All right. Okay, you do not move items out or in the warehouse. However, what you do only the warehouse role. So if you only have the senior user role, you decide to move stock from different places, but always with your same warehouse. Right? Example. Now, let's say Monusco, right? They have warehouse, let's say in Goma. So without any action in inventory, they decide to move stock from building to the other, just with the warehouse senior user role. They need to move stock from to Goma. They can do it only with the warehouse senior user role. So then we have to be triggered from the inventory side. The goods issue, right? To move items out of Goma. So plus picking to move items out from Goma. And then good received and put away to reach the items in Kinshasa. All right. So external movements in a different way, meaning that there is no action required in inventory. It's up to the warehouse people to decide how they want to structure their stock within their warehouse. So here, the T code that the warehouse user can use to create transfer order, right? And the warehouse user steps are the same. Check for all transfer orders, print, do the movement, and confirm. Okay? Most actions that missions have are related to roles. So mapping is key, right? And it's a process that has been part of the GDP project, right? The defining who gonna get which roles. So a process to request for new roles, right? So the roles cannot be delegated, right, directly by the user, but if somebody has to act as an inventory user, they will have to request. There is an option to request for new roles, right? And the roles have to be approved. There is an SLO that part of the process of requesting new roles in Umoja. Okay, we have the put away process. We have also seen the picking process, the internal movement warehouse process. We know that the warehouse in your user is also capable of creating new bins, right? They can create new warehouses or new storage types, but they can create new bins. Right? And here you have the T codes that you can use to new bins. So before we jump into the demo, right, and there we can also have more discussion on the in the system. We will have reflection of what the storage locations, right? About storage type, storage session, storage bin. This is just a kind of refresh session, but we ask you together with your LPEs to log into the training environment and to look for the different transactions by yourself. So it's the best way to try it is to look for transactions by yourself and to try. There's no harm in you logging into the system in the training environment and trying to perform a transaction. All right. So we are gonna do. We are gonna log into the training environment. All concepts that we kind of viewed this short session, we have a look at how they look like into. So you can always use the chat if you have any comment. Okay. Also questions from about how will all this process take for one to out an item, right? So what process to issue out an item? Issue item means issue out, let's example, saying, let's say I have to issue out of cement to a project. So can we, as people, only having a look at for example, the picking process, can we only the roles of warehousing your user, can we give to the section, to the one that is asking for the bag of cement? So we cannot initiate this process from warehouse. So the request of bag of cement, right, initiated from the inventory, right? We had, for example, here in Entebbe, where we are located now to support the map, that most warehouse people have been also been granted with the inventory user role. That, for example, if in this case, if we have issue out a bug document from a warehouse, and in front of you the person who requested the bug document, so an inventory user, you can raise the request, right, inventory module by creating a reservation document, right? The reservation document, a kind of request of this bug document, right? This document has to be approved by the owner of the inventory, right? That is, in this case, going to be, I don't know if it's engineering or let's say it's engineering. So the inventory senior user owning the budget for, right, will approve the reservation that you can issue out the bag of cement. Then the person warehouse, as an inventory user, will perform the goods issue with transfer requirement automatically created by the system. The user will indicate from within the warehouse the cement can be taken from. Our user will finally will take the from the bin and to the so we need to reservation, approve reservation, perform goods issue, create TO, and confirm the TO. Okay. But remember that all the processes, it can be done by the same person, right? You have to initiate the action in inventory and then finish it in the warehouse model, in the warehouse management module. Okay. This question is good because it's a kind of review of what we just mentioned. Okay? So it's a log to the system. Okay, open EC. Okay, I'm gonna environment. So could you confirm you are now seeing ECC? Okay. It's big enough? You want to make bigger? It's a
yeah, I can see.
So look at the oh, thank you for your feedback. It's a little bit difficult to have these sessions through WebEx. We had a similar session faced here in Entebbe, and it was a little bit easy, right? Okay, so apologies for if there is any broken over the network. So I'm gonna try to review what we just explained about the put away and picking process in ECC. Okay. So warehouse people, that we said that the first role that is involved is the warehouse senior user, right? So the warehouse senior user is the role that should for items that have to be placed inside the warehouse or take from the warehouse, right? The warehouse should look for transfer request for picking or transfer request for put. So how do we do that, right? So we have a report. There are no notifications, but we have reports that can run using the codes, right? You can analyze the T code in your favorites at your wish. So the T code to look for open transfer requirements, it's LVN. You also have it in the, and I already saw this T code. Okay, here. So display the list of transfer requirements. Okay, and we have. So we need to indicate this is the warehouse now. This is the warehouse. We want to look for transfer requirements. And the good thing is that in the environment, you already have the server you are going to find once we go live. So for we have connected people from AMIS. So we go to AMIS warehouses. Let's find them. We have this in our right in warehouses. We have the warehouse in Torit, right? We have 3 different warehouses. We have even one warehouse for AMIS stock located in Entebbe. Okay. See, we have basically one warehouse per location, right? We are no longer in have a different warehouse per owner, but more we have a warehouse per location. So, is training. Let's have a look at the warehouse for Monusco, because they have already some transfer requirements, because it's the one we have for training. So the thing for Monusco, we have different warehouses for the 5 different locations: Kinshasa, Entebbe, Bunia, Goma. So if you see in warehouse of Go for Monusco, the items that need to be house or taken from the warehouse, take the warehouse, and then here in this destination storage type, we can use the match code. Okay, and we see the different storage types, the different buildings that we have in the warehouse E4, in the warehouse for Monusco in Goma. So the warehouse Monusco in Goma is structured in 8 different buildings, right? In 8 different storage types. 01 to 008, and then we have a bunch of system used for receipts, used for goods issue. That are the ones with the 9, right? For example, we're starting with the 90102. Okay, these ones that are used to indicate that materials are waiting at the door of the warehouse. They are pending put away. 14910 911 the West to materials out of the warehouse. With, for example, if we need to transfer from one warehouse to the other, right, with another kind of type. If we have some returns of inventory that needs to be placed into the warehouse, it's going to be placed in this return type. So, if anything, we just run this without selecting any source and destination storage type. We will to understand. All right. Person that is saying that they cannot hear me properly. So please confirm you are listening to me properly. Okay. You back for letting me know. What about the rest of the people? Lane, all right, Mamer, thank you. Thank you. So,
yeah, Emmanuel, is that and clear?
Yes, sure. Jules? Yes. Okay. All right. Questions? Just raise any question from the chat. Okay, so you can understand that you listen to me properly. So let's continue. So we were having a look at this is the report for open transfer requirements. So I'm going to get all transfer requirements in this warehouse. Let's see. You see, I have a bunch of requirements. So the list is long because we have been working for training purposes with this warehouse, with the warehouse for Munkengoma. And it's the first transfer requirement, right? If I click on the transfer requirement number, I will be able to see which are the materials. What come here? So the from is the 902 empty. 902, it means transfer requirement for put away, right? There was a good receipt, right? With this is the number of the PO. Requirement for put away. So all the ones where you see the 90 in the from, it means that with materials at door of the warehouse and with the warehouse user has to create a transfer order to place these items into the warehouse. They have to create a transfer order for put away. You can even see in the items, you can see how many different lines you have in that transfer requirement. So for example, the 1613, it has two different lines. So there is one transfer requirement. This was another question we had in the previous session. Example, if the part order is for 10 different materials and the good receipt is done for all the materials, the transfer requirement will be also for the 10 materials. So it's 1613. If we open it, it's a transfer requirement to put 10 computers and 10 vaccines, all right, within our warehouse. Okay, we down, we have a bunch of transfer requirements for put away, and then we do the requirements for picking. See the requirements for put away. The front was nation empty because the warehouse senior user has to specify where items have to be located. On side for picking, the from but the destination is 91. The in the house for goods. All right. There was a question about about roles. Hello, can you hear? Hello, hello. Barbara lost the video. Could please all the others confirm? You can send to me again. Sorry about. I don't want to be talking alone. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you about. All right. So maybe something that at Barbara's end. All right. So a question about the roles. Remember everything is initiated from the inventor side. So the goods, in case of issue, the good issue is performed the inventory user once the reservation is approved, and then when you post it, automatically the transfer requirement is created. These are transfer requirements. So nobody created this transfer requirement. The system automatically created them after goods received or the goods was posted. Now in the role of the warehouse senior user. The warehouse user has to list all transfer requirements that were automatically created and process them. In the case of goods issue, the warehouse user will have to indicate where the items have to be picked. In the case requirement for put away, they will indicate items have to be placed. Okay. also of items to be. We have a lot of transfer requirements for picking, and we can also have others. Let's scroll down. Okay, it's a goods issue, but the goods issue was done with different movement type. It's goods issue to cost center, but it's a goods issue to internal order. So it works in a different, in a very similar way, but the storage type, instead of being 911, it's 14. But for warehouse senior user, it's the same. Again, indeed, from is now IT. Why? Because the good receipt, instead with the movement type for purchase order, it's just a turn to inventory. It's done with a different movement type, the one that is used to return items into stock. But a good receipt for return to stock, a put away, it's also needed, right? So warehouse senior user, we have to process the transfer requirement to place item that we returned into our warehouse. Okay? So there are a list of transfer requirements. So this is a specific case of this warehouse. Sorry, I can hear somebody. Could you mute your phone? You. So there are transfer requirements, right? For picking. We want, for example, to get only transfer requirements for put away, right? We could put 902 and restrict the list, right? So if I put in source storage type 902, I will get right. I will get only the transfer requirements for put away. Okay. So the warehouse senior user, I will process these transfer requirements to indicate where to place the items. So let's say, for example, in the first one, I have the real paper, right, that I need to perform away as a warehouse senior user. So can I do it? Can use L06 or just do it from here, just selecting the transfer requirement and on the button TO for foreground, right? This is done by the warehouse senior user. TO in foreground, all right, is already taken transfer requirements already. So this is another one. Instead of the 1299, let's take the 137. Sorry about that. So let's process 1317. There was a different person, a different senior user processing the same transfer requirement. TO in ground. Oh, okay. So, sorry. This one, it's one for pins. That is a bit different because quality management. So let's choose one that is vaccines. Let's the 1443. This is a computer. Okay. Let's try to put away for the computer. Okay, 443. TO count. All right. So we have the first screen for this is the creation of the transfer order, right? Create transfer order, taking transfer requirement. So this is the number of the transfer requirement, the 1443, and as a senior user, I will specify the nation. We click on the put away foreground button, right? And the material ID, right? We have even the inventory information, right? we have that MONUSCO, and we even have the storage log, that is the inventory part, right? We didn't explain. So, with inventory part. So in plant MONUSCO, the storage is related to ownership. So here, you know, you see that, for example, in Tebe, we have location for engineering, we have the location for CIS, the one for supplies. So if on the other side, warehouse management, storage types, storage section is more about physical location with the warehouse. So this was a computer, and the storage is 1104. That's usually be the CITS, right? Because it's we said this material was a computer. Senior user, I have to specify where to put away, right? Which is storage type, right? So the first field is right, the same that went before. So normally we will place it in different things. Let's say like the first one. The same field in the list, this goes to the storage sections, right? Using the match code, we can get different storage sections. So for warehouse 4, that is MONUSCO Goa, and in storage type 001, we get all the different storage sections that are in that building. So we have an area for all storage, we have one disposal area, we have an area, and you will have the same in your option. For each storage type, you have different areas. So if you want to put a computer in this area, all right, but specify in which specific bin. Okay. So the responsibility of the warehouse senior user is to specify where to place the item. But unfortunately here we don't have the code, right? To list different bins, right? That are available in that in storage and in that storage section. So can your user? I mean, they can always go physically to the warehouse. On the system, they can also run reports to understand different things available, and for the material where the material is already placed in the warehouse. But you have to run another report, right? But we don't go out of this screen. We can use of creations, right? I can then go in again. So when I open a new session, you can have up to sessions in parallel. So it's also good to them, right? Because maybe here, as a warehouse senior user, you will information. So don't close the screen. Open a new session, create a new session, and from here, right? Now I have two different ones. The one I was using before, and the one empty. Okay, right? Run ones that we set that they normally or they usually start with the LX. 01, we can look for empty bins. 3, we can empty bins and also for bins with materials. Okay. This report. Okay. I want to see that in type 001. All right. Type 001 with here, I will a long list, right? These are all in store type 001, and it also gives you all different materials that's stored in that warehouse and in that bin. Here we have everything. We have the bins, so we can see that for example, bin A02, it's empty. In B01, we have the material. Okay. If we want how many, with quantity, we change the layout. Okay. We can change it from here, from the report. Okay. And when bins layout, we run it again, and we will see in B001 we have material and we have only one. Okay. In B1 we have 4 materials. We have 8 of those and 1 of material. Right. We can filter this report. So if we want to know, for example, if we want to know, okay, do I have it already in my warehouse? And locate it, right? And copy the property, right? And I can further filter, right? So from here, in dynamic selection, I select the material, the product ID, and I want to, look, this report will give me, okay, in warehouse E04, and in particular, in type 001, where this material will appear. Okay, so let's see. I don't list because I haven't had the bins where this material is not located. So I want only the list with stock. I click on only bins with stock. I run. Okay, I can see bins where I have material. So I can even sort out by number. Most of our computers are in SL010110. There are 1,000, right? You see that we have size of the bin, the size of the items. So we will never tell you if the bin is full or not. Then you will see, you will be able to get the bin, the material, and how many you have, right? But it will not tell you if the bin is already full or not. You will have to from the quantities. So we can get the right that we can use for the way. So we want to place it. We want in the items, right? For example, we can choose one. We can the SHL. Okay. To select, right, in which bin we want to place the item. Is the question regarding the reports? The best to learn reports is to play with them. What I can get? Okay, I can see question. Okay. All right. In the chat. All right. Okay. So again, the question is always about the process from Laos, right? Because, in Galileo, you actions, right? In Galileo, with, for example, with a voucher, right? You the issue voucher, and with that, it's enough to kind of give somebody else out the warehouse, right? You still you call the request from the user in it, but then in Galileo you could say the issue voucher. That it's okay, right? But in Umbrella, you cannot perform keying, remember, if they would issue the inventory user with one that specifies the movement type. Okay, so in order to perform picking in the warehouse, out of the warehouse, you for sure need the goods you perform by the inventory user. In the process right now, is to perform goods issue. We have a document before that is the reservation. That is the one that is approved by all of the inventory. Let's say, for example, we are issuing out a lap. So it's the inventor that can be the same person as the senior user. They will run the reservation, but then senior user, the CITS will have to approve reservation so that it can be performed. Okay? So remember, as we need the good and good the document is the reservation, that is the one that is approved by the inventory senior user. Okay. We have the goods issue, then we jump into the process we are reviewing now, right? The requirements, the creation of the transfer orders, and the confirmation of the transfer orders. Okay. Then we have questions about out stock places, right? If you need to move stock with your within warehouse, then you can do it without requiring a goods or a goods receipt. No inventory management is involved here, right? If you need to change one building to the other, but always, let's say, for example, always in Goma, you warehouse. If to move items from one to the other, right? Say from Goma to Tebe, it's a process. The question is, for example, from Bentiu to Juba, that is the question. So you need to move items from one to another location, right? You can do it directly from the warehouse. There will be also a good issue from Juba, right? So the items will be issued out from Juba. They'll be picked from the house in Juba, right? There are transport items from to Bentiu, and then in Bentiu we will again create the process in inventory. We will do receipt, and after the receipt, warehouse will be able to perform put away in Bentiu warehouse. We also have when we have to get materials out of the warehouse, or we have to get materials inside the warehouse, we always need good receipt or goods you performed in inventory. Okay. In our example, the good was already performed. That's why we had already a trans requirement. Our user was create transfer order. So we are creating a transfer order for request, and here we have to specify the transfer. We have to specify the bin, right, where we want to place our material. And the bin we have, as a warehouse senior user, we have to make of reports. All right. So I, as a warehouse senior user, the destination. Okay. Right. Again, the summary of the TO. So in order to create the TO, we just on save, and the TO now is created. So it's created here at the bottom of the screen. We can even the number 0 So the transfer order is created, so the senior user for that particular transfer requirement finished, right? He said, okay, this item has to be placed in this specific bin. So we change our hats, right? Because now we play a role of the inventory, of the warehouse user to physical items. So senior user looks for open transfer requirements, and user will have to look for an object, right? They will have to look for open transfer orders, right? The documents that were created by the senior user with us to move items into the bin. Okay, so users, they have, in this case is LT23, look for open transfer orders. So with LB10, warehouse user look for transfer requirements. With T23, users look for open orders. In this case, I'm going to look for open transfer orders. Okay, I'm going to have them. The one I just created, I will get only one I created, but I see how many transfer orders are. So I have a lot. Okay. Here you can also understand what kind of transfer order it is, right? In this, the first source bin is from storage type 01, and nation is 916, right? So to move this mail from the house to the door of the warehouse, right? To the goods place. Order in descending order by TO number, so that can find the one we just created. Clicked on the TO number, and then I click on sort in descending order. So the first one is the one we just created, and it's transfer requirement for put away. So the source store type is 902, the good type store type, and destination bin is the one we specified as warehouse user. All right. That has not been physically moved yet, right? So as a warehouse user, I want to physically move the item and then confirm it's done. System is not there. If we look in the reports, so if we look in the reports and we go ahead, we look, let's say look, because shell 09, let's say 01, like that. Okay. So our bin, this we put as destination, right? You can see that level stock we have 0, right? But the system is already reflecting that we have one that will be put away. The put away has not been performed yet, right? See, if we had already transfer orders for picking from that bin, they'll appear here. So as a user, once we confirm that we physically move the items, this stock for put away will go, and we will have the computer available in the bin, right? So do I like that in the system? Yeah, by confirming, right, this transfer order. How can I confirm it as a warehouse user? I can LT12 and put the transfer order number, or I can click on the transfer order, go transfer order, confirm transfer order, right? This is the order I just created. I click green button. At stage, even user could even change the destination bin. So this is flexibility that the warehouse user has. So if the bin is full and he agrees with the warehouse senior user that he can select a different bin, he could do it. And confirm of set the transfer order. Okay, so if we have the transfer order, we will receive such transfer order was confirmed. Okay, if we our reports, we see that the stock quantities. All right. So how we do it? We go back and run the report again. See that the available stock is now 1. We don't have any stock for pay and any stock from there. All right. So you can use the reports in order also to understand the status of the bin. For picking, no difference. As a senior user, we can also do pick, right. I'm going to list different transfer requirements, and time select instead of a transfer requirement for put away, I can select in this case, it's to pick one telephone, right, from house. So and process. I can select, right, from in foreground. Click again the same. We click on forward. In the put away, the from was graded, right? Because the from was from the 902. In this case, the grayed out is the destination. It has to be put in the of the warehouse, right? But what here? So the system is already proposing from we have to take the item, right, based on which items that were received first, right? It's a kind of for strategy, but the your user can always change this, right? So they can the type of reports to get where we have this material available, and we could even change it, right? So let's try run the report again with the LX4. Okay, let's do the same. Sorry. So we are run the report. We want to know what the material. It's a different material, right? Instead of laptop, is this one. Let's see. Right? The located is the SHL 010104, but I use another one. So SHL 010104, we have 314 items. But when another one, for example, the SHL 010102, in the number 3, the item seems is not available, so the system will not allow us to pick it from there. So if from number 3, there with the material, but with right with all quant. Okay, we want to pick it from another bin. So for now 2, will allow you to do it. Okay, 3 there shouldn't be enough. Sorry. This okay. Yeah, it's store type does not allow negative figures, right? Because in that bin there is material is available. Okay, with in our with sorry, and we have it as see in the reports. Okay, so 2 with 953, and in number 4 we have 314. Okay, process we can do the same process. We just click enter, order was created. Any going a little bit fast on this same exercise. The process is very similar. So now we have another transfer order, the 2011. In the chat that you are listening to me properly. I mean, the broken voice, nothing. Said you can hear. Okay. Question? Any specific scenario you wanted to raise? Okay. So we just created as a user the transfer order. As a warehouse user, we have to confirm, right? 3. Right? We look all transfer orders, right? And right, if we try to look for the one we confirmed before, the 2010, we find it here because it was already confirmed. So let's change. Instead of only open items, let all confirmed. Okay? Change to your items, right? We'll list all of them. Now the list will be longer and let other bio item. Okay, the 2011 is the one we created for picking, right? See, it's red because it's been confirmed yet. And 2010 is the one we did for put away that we already confirmed, right? And that's why you see it in green. All right. So you confirm it. We click TO number again. We click on so just click on post 010102. How many do we have in the bin? We have 9, 5. So after this, I should decrease to 5.2, right? So and refresh this. So let's look only to the one we are using. So let's have a look at SHL 0102. That is the one we are running. Okay. We have 953. I mean, physically in the bin. We have as available. What? We have 2 as available. We created a transfer order for picking for one, right? Even if we still physically have 953, there's order for picking to pick one out of the bin, right? So that's why in the available stock you have a difference. So available stock is what you have in physically plus what you will put in the bin minus what has to be picked, right, from there. So confirm now the transfer order for picking by saving, right, and we'll get a message again. Transfer was confirmed. Kind of refresh the report. If back the report, now will change. So now what do we have in the bin with 952? One pick, right, physically from the bin, and the confirmed that the action was done. So now we don't have anymore any transfer order for put away or for picking, and total stock and available stock are the same. Okay. So we did and there are things that you will cover during your exercise. So that's why it's important that you go by yourself in training environment. You are the assistant of your trainers at the mission, right? They'll be the ones that are going to have you. I mean, they train you in these processes. They go again use it so that you can enter into the system and play around. There is no that you cannot do any damage by processing transfer requests for put away and for picking, even with the internal movement. So play on with the reports. Be comfortable with the different fields and with different transactions. All right. With anybody get the first time in Umoja the 5th of September. Okay. So we wanted you to go to the system and to do the transactions by yourself. Okay. If the commission cannot help with the questions, right? They can always address questions to us. All right. I'm going to put here my address in case you want to any particular question, but always contact your LP. Okay. So I'll put here my name. All right. We will try to support you from Entebbe. Okay. So thanks for joining. If you have any additional question, just write an email to us. Okay. We will try to support you. But please go into the system and try by yourself. Okay. So I hope still there. I'm not talking alone.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So thanks much. And if any additional session is needed, we will try to make it possible for you. All right. Thank you. We will send all the documentation. I mean the presentation and other additional material that we have through email. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, brother. Why making noise? No, coming, we are coming, I'm coming.